So I'm here with my marketing manager, Brad, who's interested in buying a home. And what I thought would be cool is if I can ask him the same questions I would with any potential home buyer and kind of coach him through that process. Get an idea of his income, get an idea of what kind of home he wants to buy, and see if he qualifies. And then if not, give him some ideas on what that would look like. So thanks, Brad, for being here. Tell me, you've been talking about buying a home for some time now. It's you and your girlfriend. You guys are starting to make some money. You got some money saved. Tell me, do you have an idea of how much you would like to purchase for? Is there a number in there?
I mean, I think because we're in Orange County, we'd probably be looking at somewhere around $600,000 for like a decent area that's, you know, safe, and it's a nice enough house that we can start in where we don't have to do a bunch of work to it.
Perfect. You're probably right. $600,000 is probably a starter home in Orange County here. And now, tell me, what have you saved for down payment? Where are we at on that?
Right now, we have like $20,000.
About $20,000. Okay. And obviously, every month you're saving more, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, with that in mind, we always want to talk about your income and get a sense of that, and then I look at the whole picture, and we can kind of go from there. What is your current income with you and your girlfriend?
Before or after taxes?
You want gross taxable income?
Okay, it's like $100,000, right around there.
Or 100. Okay, perfect. So with that in mind, when you look at it on a monthly basis, $100,000 over 12 months is going to be $8,333 per month in income. Okay, that's between you and your girlfriend. Now, the rule of thumb in the mortgage industry is to have a debt to income ratio of 45%. And what they're saying is they're going to look at your total income and minus your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, as well as any expenses like student loans, car payments, and credit cards.
Okay.
With that in mind, what is your total expenses every month?
And that's just like credit cards, car payments.
Like credit cards, student loans, car payments.
No student loans. My car payment's like $450 a month.
Okay.
And my girlfriend doesn't have a car payment.
Okay, perfect.
And she also doesn't have credit card debt because she's smart. And I have $550 in credit card debt a month.
Okay, sounds good. So she's the responsible one in the household, is that what I'm hearing?
Yep.
Sounds about right. Women typically are.
Yeah.
She probably also has the higher credit score.
Probably.
We'll talk about that later. So $450 in car payment, $550 in credit cards, and the car payment. when is that paid off? Is it a lease? Is it a purchase?
I think it's like 18, 20 months, something like
so
that.
You bought it.
I bought it, but it's 0%, so I'm just paying principal.
Well, that's a good move right there. 0% is great. So 18 to 20 months. Okay, great. So that's about $1,000 a month. Mm-hmm. So what we like to do is we take the $8,333.
Okay.
We're going to go to 43% of that for your new mortgage payment, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, as well as any HOAs, as well as mortgage insurance if it's there, and then your expenses. Okay. So in this case, what we're going to want to see is that from $8,333, we're going to go to 43%. That's a monthly outgo of $3,583 per month. Of that, we're going to minus $1,000 because that's how much you have for your expenses. Okay. So your new monthly outgo is maxed at $2,583. This is basically where your mortgage payment needs to be, all in per month at $2,583. Okay.
So not a lot.
It's, quite frankly, when we do the math, you're not going to be able to qualify for $600,000, but let's just walk through those numbers to get an idea. Okay. So based on a $20,000 down payment on $600,000, that's roughly 3%, or $18,000 for down payment. Now, what I like to make sure my clients know is that on top of your down payment, you also want to know that there's going to be title, escrow, any per diem interest that's due, as well as taxes and insurance that are going to be due at the closing of your new purchase. Okay. So you really want to have at least another 1% of the purchase price set aside. So figure that's going to be another $6,000.
Can I've heard before that can I take a higher interest rate to roll that into the loan, or do I have to pay that cash up front? How does that work?
Couple things. You can increase your rate to get a credit from your lender. Mm-hmm. You can also work with the seller as well as the agents to kick in on paying for some of these closing costs. So that's also another option. Okay. But keep in mind that you're going to want to have a little extra set aside for these items. Okay. But let's look at the 3% down option. Based on where rates are at right now, what I like to do is go a little bit higher than where rates are, just so that we're comfortable, because just in case rates move and we're buying in 6 months. So right now, I would say a good barometer of what your rate would be about 4%.
Okay.
So based on the $18,000 down payment and a $600,000 purchase price, you're going to be financing $582,000. Okay. And when you look at that, $582,000 over a 30-year period of time, which is the going amortization for the payments that we'll qualify you on. Okay. At 4% interest, your new monthly payment would be $2,778 per month. Now, that does not include the taxes, the insurance, the mortgage insurance that's going to be on there. And so right out the gate, we know that you're not going to be able to qualify for this payment with your current position, your current income, as well as having $1,000 a monthly outgoing debt.
Okay.
Now, we can look at this a couple different ways. If $600,000 is going to be the bottom line price for you to get into a home, then that needs to be the target.
Okay.
Okay, and we can work backwards to determine if you can qualify for that in the near future and what steps you need to take to do that. Okay. The other option is we find you a lower purchase price, and we can kind of work backwards on that as well. Okay. But what I think you should do is, because $600,000 is going to be kind of the barometer of what you think is going to be important for you and your family going forward. Let's stick with $600,000 and come up with a game plan to get you to a payment where you're going to qualify. Okay, cool. Okay, so continuing with these figures, on $600,000, you're going to have a 1.25% tax rate per year. That is basically the industry standard for taxes in California. And that is going to be an additional cost of $625 per month for the taxes. Then you're going to have mortgage insurance. Mortgage insurance is when you finance over 80% of the purchase price. Lenders are going to require a third-party insurance to come in to make sure that if you default on the house, that they get paid back their loan. Okay. You can remove mortgage insurance by putting closer to 5 or 10% by taking what's called lender-paid mortgage insurance. That's where the lender will cover the insurance because you put a little bit more money down, more than 3%, 5%, or even 10%. They can buy out the mortgage insurance, and sometimes they'll just kick up the rate a little bit higher than what the current rates are, and it'll affect your payment, obviously, but it's still something more affordable than having mortgage insurance. Because just giving you an idea, based on where mortgage insurance is right now, you're going to be at roughly $500 a month.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot, and that's not part of it. That's really just kind of throwing your money away. If you put 20% down, remember, you're not going to, or even more, 5, 10% down, you're going to be able to eliminate that. And that's going to be important for you to qualify and for you not to throw away that money.
Yeah, I mean, that does nothing for me. It's just protecting the bank, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The idea, though, is that it gets you into the house, and maybe you find a deal, you love this house, you're willing to look long term and go into this house knowing that you're going to either refinance it down the road because you're going to pay it down, or because you think there's going to be appreciation in the house and you're going to be able to refinance and have a lower loan to value, and then the mortgage insurance would be dropped off.
Oh, okay. So it does get dropped off if you refinance?
Yeah, if you refinance, you do have to have 20% equity. Again, there are lenders out there that have different programs available to you where you don't have to have quite 20%, but typically the rule of thumb is 20% equity and you will not have this mortgage insurance. Okay. You can also break up your loan, not to confuse you, but you can also break up your loan into a first mortgage of 80% and then have a home equity line or fixed rate second behind that first mortgage. Okay. Just another option. The rate on the second is obviously higher, and then your payment's going to be higher because of that. Okay. There's flexibilities here, but it all comes down to what you can qualify for and kind of your goals and what you think the house is going to do. And from that, we can kind of get a better sense. But what I'm trying to do here is to give you an idea of the fact that the $500 mortgage insurance payment is going to be probably necessary when you're putting $20,000 down on a home like this. Okay. On top of that, on your mortgage payment, you're going to have just regular insurance policy. You're going to have fire insurance coverage on the property. Okay. And so that's going to be what I like to do. Rule of thumb for me is always about $75. Okay. Okay. So with that in mind, you've got $2,778 principal and interest payment, $625 in taxes, $500 a month in mortgage insurance, and $75 for your fire insurance policy. Okay. Roughly, your new monthly payment is going to be right around $3,978 per month.
Oh wow.
That's pretty high, right? I'm sure your rents are probably sub $2,000 at this point. Yeah. Okay, and so the key here is how do we get you into a position where you feel comfortable taking a higher payment?
Yeah.
And my sense is I see a couple ways that we can do this.
Okay.
What I would like to see you do is look for an opportunity to either pay down your credit cards, okay? Because if you got another $550 a month in monthly income, that's going to be helping your purchasing power.
Yeah.
You're not going to get up to $600,000, but could we get to $550? Possibly.
Okay.
Okay. The nice thing also too about your car payment is in 18 to 20 months, you also have the opportunity for that to drop off.
Yeah.
So right between your credit cards and your car payment, there's a great opportunity to pick up $1,000 a month that you can then put into a mortgage payment that will be a tax deductible item, an investment, and your first step of home ownership and really getting you kicked off into a wealth strategy for you and your family.
Cool.
Also, where I think we can improve this current situation and get your payments more in line with saving money is if we could find a way to get you to put down at least 5%, preferably 10% of this purchase price. 10% of $600,000 would be $60,000, which it might take a couple of years to do that. But with this goal in mind of home ownership and having a house like this, I think once you know these numbers, it'll help you kind of put those strategies in your life, strategies in your financial life to get you to that point.
Okay.
So if you put that, if we can knock down that mortgage insurance from $500 to let's say $200 because we're putting more money down, that's going to save you $300 there. So right there is $1,300. We're starting to come around where you can qualify.
How does the mortgage insurance get knocked down?
So when you put 5% or 10% down, you're going to still have mortgage insurance with certain loans and certain lenders.
Okay.
But the premium is going to go down.
Okay.
You become less risk for them as you put more money down. When you're financing more, you're putting 3% down, your mortgage insurance premium is going to be higher because you're more of a risk to the bank.
Okay.
Okay. So again, the options that are available to you if you put more money down are going to be something like the lender paid mortgage insurance where the lender will buy it out, but you'll have a little bit higher interest rate.
Okay.
You still have a delta between having no mortgage insurance and putting 20% down. There's going to be a couple $100 delta, but I think that if we can get that down by $300, your debts and your car payment by $1,300, you're right there then qualifying for this $600,000 house.
Cool. All
day long with very close to the same down payment.
Yeah.
So I do think that you're close. I think that what the key is for you is paying down your credit cards, getting that to zero, and looking to have that done by the time that your car payments are at a point where you no longer have one.
Yeah.
And then we come back and we revisit.
Yeah.
Because at that point you'll probably have another 20 to 40 grand saved, and you'll have no debt, and you'll have your income will continue to increase, and things will start coming into picture.
Cool.
But I don't think the time is right for you now.
Probably like a year and a half out.
I think what we do is in a year and a half, we come together again, we have this conversation, and we see if the time is right for you.
Cool.
And if it's not, we'll strategize on how we can get you to that point, and we'll set the barometer, and we'll set the steps that you have to take ahead of you to get you into a home as soon as possible.
Cool.